Alright boys, welcome back to another one of these videos. Mainly filler, but they seem to be doing okay, so we're gonna continue with the series. Beautiful. Now that that's done, we can move on to today's topic at hand, Briar. Is she good? Is she bad? I don't know. I have my opinions. Feel free to post your own in the comments, and that's the end of the video. I'm just kidding. So, Briar is the newest champion to League of Legends, and honestly, kind of a breath of fresh air. At first, you know, I was a bit skeptical, like most people, especially when the splash art got leaked. Mainly because she looks way too much like a child in the splash art, so I was just expecting this to be another Zoe, except a bruiser, but she's not, thankfully. Her personality is actually kind of endearing. I'm talking about her design. I really like how her character is in the story, because she has kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of situation, where one commits the actions, the other is aware of the first one's actions, yet can't do anything to stop it. It's just kind of what happens, and I, for some reason, really like that aesthetic. I don't understand why. It also does kind of move into that horror movie trope, which is basically exactly the same as Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll, of the innocent person being a monster, but they're unaware of it. That's kind of like the secondary trope I feel like that she's following, which is really neat. And I don't think we really have a character like that in League of Legends. And I am very happy with how her character is, both in the story and in game. The interactions are really like quirky without being too annoying, and I don't understand why people are sexualizing her so much. She's one of the more modest characters, if I'm gonna be honest, that's been released in the past couple of years. Not like counting the Fury, because I mean, it's a dog. Another thing that was kind of really unexpected, both to the community and to my surprise, was her abilities. Finicky, not finicky, just awkward to work with, because she has no base health regen of her own, but her passive is a really weak bleed, like not at all comparable to Darius bleed or Talon bleed or whoever the fuck else has a bleed. And I feel like that's a good thing. Like, you don't want to keep recycling that the whole bleed thing, which you sometimes forget that the bleed is there, and I'll randomly just get kills and not even know what the fuck killed him, and then I remember, oh hey, she has a bleed, right? Her Q is honestly kind of fun and also weirdly buggy at the same time, because there have been times where I've just Q'd someone and they didn't get stunned for some reason or another. And her Q is also one of those abilities where if you're the one getting CC'd while the animation is going through, you won't get the stun off, which I think is stupid and shouldn't be the case. Thankfully, you can't flash away from the stun, so you know that at least allows you to catch up to somebody even if they did flash your Q. And it is really interesting that they for some reason let you target was allies with it with an ability called Head Rush. It's really awkward to say that that's going to be something friendly coming towards you without the intention of hurting you. But yeah, what do I know? I'm not a game designer. The ability is fun, and I've found a couple of good uses for it. Her W, I feel like, is going to be the ability that turns people off to her the most, since it's basically a self-taunt, which I don't think it should be. It should just be an effect that the ability has. It shouldn't count as CC, because it really does, like, your biggest counter is going to be Seraphine, because she just E's and now you're stunned, and like, what do you do at that point? Give up chasing them, even if your W is still active. And the one thing that I really like about the W is that it's, if this makes any sense, predictable unpredictability. Because once she dashes, you know what's gonna happen. She's just gonna make a beeline straight towards you. And yes, that is gonna happen. But it's the anticipation of when you think she's gonna W and when you don't think she's gonna W. That's really that I feel like is gonna catch people off guard. The second part of her W was Snack Attack. I feel like is the more underwhelming part of that ability. Like, yeah, it heals for like 1,000,000 health or whatever, but it's just there. It's just a little bit of an auto attack increase. The nicest thing about it is that's an execute, which I don't think it should be. I feel like it should just be sort of like a Sheen Brock or a Garen Q or something, where it just deals a bit more damage instead of being like, oh hey, make sure to use this last, because sometimes people will be like just slightly faster than you, and you'll press the W to reset it on the last tick of it, and it'll just go away. Like, it's not good. It's It doesn't feel like that's what the ability should be doing. And now her E is really weird. And the closest ability I can compare to is a Scion Q, but not, because it's so much worse than a Scion Q unless you're near a wall. It does have its uses. I feel like its best use is to disengage rather than engage, since it also cancels out your W or your ultimate depending on what you're have active currently. That I feel like was its initial purpose was escape, was for it to be like a disengage sort of. But people, myself included, have found ways to work around that and make it a lot more aggressive. For instance, you can Q onto somebody and then E afterwards and then just insect them into somebody else. Fucking no more release it and waiting for level 6. Now you can do that with level 3 on Briar. And the bonus damage you get when knocking somebody into a wall can be ridiculous sometimes. Like actually just chunking somebody off a level 1 ability. It doesn't feel like that's what it should be doing. It feels like a last little add-on that somebody thought, hey, this would be fun. But if you really want fun, you got your sick-ass ultimate right here. Oh, man, this thing is so much fun to use for you, not your team and not the enemy team, but for you specifically, because all it is just a you go gorilla brain is what happens. The ultimate CC is one that's casted by yourself, as one said before. I honestly really like this ultimate. It reminds me of both a Warwick ulti and mostly a Kled ult, because once you engage, there's no turning back. You have to commit, and if you don't commit, you're a fucking coward. Briar is also like in this weird sort of position where you don't really know whether she's supposed to be a frontliner, a midliner. Like, is she supposed to peel? Is she supposed to engage? She's way too squishy to engage, by the way. Her base resistances are laughable. The only thing she has going for her is like health someone, but that doesn't really help out a lot if the ADC buys like Bork or something, or is just, you know, Ashe. Which brings me to my next topic. Itemization. You have both a lot of options and not that many options. Like, you have mythic items, those can range from going Duskblade to kill somebody and then just run through the enemy team without anybody touching you to the next target. I feel like that's personally my favorite mythic to run on her, just because it's so much fun to see people try and stop you and fail miserably. Then you have like Gore Drinker for more sustainability, which is like, you got your Divine Setter for like burst damage, which weirdly enough, compared to Trinity Force, it does a lot more damage even to squishies. Oh yeah, also with Itemization, completely avoid buying Bork. It's very bad on her for some reason, which I didn't think I was ever gonna be saying. But yeah, avoid buying Bork. Just go bruiser items, go fucking Sterax, go Death Stance, go Ravenous Hydra, Titanic Hydra, Guardian Angel, you know, that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, also, don't ever buy Stride Breaker. If you buy Stride Breaker on Briar, you are the biggest piece of shit imaginable. There is a special place in hell waiting for you. No, I've been playing her quite a bit these past couple of weeks. She really fits my playstyle of, I want to go in and do damage and possibly survive by the end of it. I don't need to survive, but I want to be known as that guy that went in, got a kill, and then died. That if World War III ever breaks out, that's gonna be on my gravestone. He went in with a grenade in his hand. She's been really fun. I've honestly haven't had this much enjoyment playing League in a long time. Not that many releases in the past couple of years have really hit the mark for me. Really on just not enjoying League all that much. Specifically because I've just been like on and off playing it. Like, I wake up, play League, go to work, come back, play League. Briar honestly makes that a lot more fun. She's honestly really enjoyable to play. And she has a lot, and I mean a lot of bugs on her. There have been times where I've tried to Q someone and it just didn't stun them, or didn't shred their armor, or it just didn't even happen even though I was right next to them. Her W, for some reason, still auto-targets people even if she doesn't have any vision of them, which is stupid. Her E sometimes will be on like the very edge of what can be hit and what can't be hit, and it won't hit them. even though they're clearly in the line. Her ultimate, there's been several times where my ultimate is just straight up flown through people without reason. The next person that got hit was like in Nexus Tower, and then I'm dead. And from my time playing her, I can honestly say that she has her uses the same way that Kled has his uses. She can completely isolate people away from the fight. Once they start collapsing in on her, she's completely fucked because she's primarily single target focus. A little bit of AoE, but it's nothing to write home about. And that, I feel like, is a great way to describe Briar. She goes in, she does damage, she kills one person, and that's the end of that story. Overall, I think Briar is probably my favorite champion that's going to be released this year, or if they decide to release any more by the end of the year, is probably going to be I'm probably going to be trying to get master level 7 on her as soon as humanly possible. But overall, I don't see her being played in pro play or in ranked, because she just has so many counters. Like, you just buy Zanya's and that's it. You've countered her. If she ults you, use Zanya's, and she runs away trying to find somebody else. By the time she gets back, you're already back at your base. It's really stupid. There's so much shit that counters her. So she definitely isn't gonna be picked at Worlds or picked all that often in ranked, because she's very easily countered. But the one thing that she is fun. And that is, I feel like, the best way to describe her. She is a fun champion. The Fury was primarily designed to be like newer player friendly, and to introduce people into League. That not every champion you need to know a fucking paragraph of text just to know how like their passive works. The Fury was that beginner friendly champion. Briar is the most fun you're ever gonna have playing League, because you're either gonna be laughing because you're killing people, or you're gonna be laughing because you're gonna be killing yourself. There's no in between. You're gonna be laughing because you're dying, and your friends who you're hopefully doing with are gonna be yelling at you, and you're just gonna be laughing your ass off the entire time. So yeah, those are about all my thoughts I have on Briar. She's a super fun champion, extremely not competitive, and just extremely buggy, I guess. So yeah, that's about all I have to say. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.